Okay guys, welcome aboard, thank you for that. Nearly on time, not bad at all. Thank you very much. If you find you want to sit on the orange, if you're feeling a bit close to anyone, by all means sit on the orange, look out if it's a little bit high, if you, by all means do that. You don't have to stay seated on the outside if you don't want to, you can sit on the orange. That's the safest part of the boat, that's where the life jackets are. Right? Should we need them, that's why they are an emergency. Life jackets and life masks in there, you can have 2 each. You know, we take 50 on there, so we've got plenty. Alright. Life jackets and life masks, and then the boat is also full of foam. Local pirate ship. Don't worry, don't work after 5, see you 5. That's called Juno, that's currently the biggest boat in the harbour. It's a scaled-down metrical wherry, like an east coast barge, got them big plates on the side called lee boards, which they drop down out to sea with and the sail, like to stabilise it and steer it. That's very luxurious inside, like a little bungalow in there. But that would have been the sort of boat, twice the size of that, sailing up to Blakeney behind us years ago, full of corn, coal or wool. Big commodities in them days, the wool trade especially, so big sailing ships were coming into Blakeney and exchanging all their loads, and that was when there was plenty of water. But what's happened over the years, the harbour's gradually got shallower and shallower, and by the mid 1800s, lots of sailing ships stopped coming in here, there just wasn't enough. About 2.5 metre deep, the best live. There's 3 wardens living there all summer, and they keep an eye on the birds and wildlife that's breeding here. Now when it was built in 1820, the Black Building, believe it or not, Blakeney Point was a lot shorter. It actually finished where we are now. Where the big sand dunes are on the right, that was the end of Blakeney Point in 1820. None of this land was here. This is all open water, and they could launch 24 hours. Even at low tide they could launch. If I say low tide today, you can walk across. So it's all changing all the time, basically obviously by the sea, and what's happening, the east coast behind us are losing the coastline, everything's getting washed away, or the cliffs falling in. The tide then drags everything westwards and dumps it down here. So they're losing it, we're gaining it, and that's what's happened. So in 1935 it got impractical to be here. They could only launch the lifeboat when the tide came in, and they were needed at sea 24/7. So they moved then and joined up with Wells next to the sea, which is the ridge of trees there in the sun ahead of us. That's where the nearest lifeboat station now is. We're not going that far, we're just going just to the end of the point, which is just up here ahead of us, right in the sun, and that's where, fingers crossed, just round that corner where the seals are going to be. That's where they were this morning anyway, so fingers crossed. Also some birds there as well. I know they're probably not quite as interesting as the seals for some of you, but the terns are summer visitors. They've come all the way from West Africa. They have been arriving now the last 2 or 3 weeks. They look a bit like a streamlined seagull, but they're very good at diving in the water, and they plunge in, snatch out whitebait and sand eels. Little bird on the shoreline there is a little eagle, like a white heron, just on the edge of the water. You pick that one out there. It's like a little white heron. That's a little eagle. There's a bird. These are common terns. The sun's not very handy. Come this way back in a minute. But yeah, there's some common terns. We've got black-headed gulls, don't get them confused with the terns like these ones here. And the big black and white birds with the orange beak, they're the oyster catchers. So there's a bit of bird activity, not too much tonight, so we'll come this way back. We'll see the, try and find you some seals first. A bit more water there then. But this is a very sensitive area, you're not allowed to land or walk on here. The whole sort of last 2 miles of Blakeney Point has all been fenced off for the seals and birds. They'll probably be on the right hand side first, so you guys on the left, if you do want to stand up, by all means do so. As I will turn round several times, so if you need to stand on the floor, not a problem, okay? Just please don't stand on the outside seats. Really? No height. Really no height. Oh, yeah, there's a few here this evening. Not too many yet, but I'm guessing a lot of them be out at sea feeding. One common seal, right on the top there. He's keeping watch, he is. That's Billy, he's got no mates up there all his own. But that's a common seal. These other ones are grey seals, alright? They're a bit bigger and darker. They have a longer pointed head, big speckles on their fur. But what's happening now, they've gradually been washed off the sandbank ahead of us there, where white water is. They'll go out to sea to feed. Once they've got some fish in the belly, they'll come and lay here on the beach. Seals actually spend 90% of their life out of the water. They only go in the water to feed, or just to move from sandbank to sandbank. So the tide comes in now. It's going to come up about halfway up the shingle there today. Another one ahead of us in the water. So the seals will just come up the beach as it comes in, then they'll come back down as it goes out again. So they don't do a lot. Very few die stress. So a few big males there. The one on the left, we know him. He's very when he's sharp, when he's wet, he's very shiny, glossy, got a lovely finish to his coat. He's called Ron. Yeah, Ron seal. No, yeah, he joins in 30 minutes as well. Yeah, another one there coming ashore. So one or two just come and find his mates. He's just had his bit of fish and some soggy chips. No, he hasn't quite sussed that out yet, so I'm just going to wait a minute. Just want to see who's round the corner first. So it's not a bad life, is it? I mean, there are a lot more than this. I mean, so every day, every trip is different. It just depends on how much they've eaten, how much food they've caught, to when they come and lay around. That's just the common seals are waiting for. They've just got that one there at the minute. They should
yeah, I just mentioned all the old confidence cement stuff. I'm doing some patio and that, so you want to stuff around.
Picture yourself the seal in the background yet. Oh, come on, look. They call that a seal feed. Is that right? No? Oh, come on, that wasn't that bad. You get your seal of approval then. No.
Do you do this trip very often?
Every so often.
Yeah, so you got to listen to this all the time, have you? Oh dear. I'm surprised you don't do cassette tapes or CDs.
There's been seals at Blakeney Point as long as anybody can remember, 80 or 90 years or so. I mean, our family have been doing it since about 1938. There were seals around then, but even before then. But in the early days, they used to shoot them with the men and, you know, take a lot of fish. Fishermen didn't like seals. Well, no, they still don't, but they're all protected now. So none of that goes on. So they're very, very timid. They wouldn't let you get anywhere near them. So, but you see now, we're not bothering them at all. They will into land there now, they shoot off in the water like a mad panic. They're not that time. And if we were a canoe or kayak, they'd be gone. They can't stand the things. They're fine in the water with them, but on the shore they get very, very nervous. And they just shoot off in the water where they're safe. Other places, obviously, they've got predators like sharks, polar bears, killer whales. complaining about them, are they? Common seals are a lot more cute. There's just not too many of them. There's that one at the back there, especially the little pups. So I hope to see a lot of them in the summer.
When's the best time to see the pups?
Best time probably to see the pups will be during mid-November to Christmas.
Right.
The grey seal pups.
Yeah.
Common seal pups, they're a little bit hit and miss, but generally in the sort of summer, July and August. But last year the grey seals had in excess of 4,500 pups. You think, oh, where are they gone? Where are they now? Because by January there's about 10,000 seals here. They arrive usually end of October in their hundreds and their thousands just to pup, to breed. They have them on the point here, as I say, if they don't stay little for very long, and usually by mid-January they've all left us again, back off around the coast, other places, wherever the fish is, they'll lay around. Just coming to land on the end here, there's a little turn, those India birds, just right on the end here, one of my favourite birds, beautiful little bird. This is as big as they get. So we've seen the common and the sandwich tern. There's a little tern. Sea swallows they call them in the Mediterranean. Very tender, delicate little bird. A black cap, yellow beak. They were nearly extinct about 15 years ago. They've come on leaps and bounds. I'm going to make you see it if you don't want to. There you go. So they're the little tern. There they're gone. So they're the smallest. Yellow beak, then you've got the common tern with a red beak, and the sandwich tern, the biggest, with a black beak. We do sometimes have some Arctic terns as well. That's the other type. They're the longest migrating bird in the world. They go from north to south pole, very similar in size to the common tern, and they stop off at various places to breed on the way. This is one of them. So we may get a few Arctic terns here during the next few months. If they were camouflaged, you can see, you imagine how cute these little chicks are, these little tern. They're tiny little things, little balls of fluff with long legs running about. They're the little tern. Yeah, so common tern here, a little bit bigger, red beak, red legs. And a couple of sandwich tern up on the top there, doing a little bit of a mating ritual. They sort of got the chest out, they're just doing around, dancing around each other. Usually the male has a little fish in its beak to try and sort of woo the female. You know, like you guys taking chocolates and flowers and things, so, you know. Chocolates and flowers. Anyone still there? Okay. Probably all getting a bit peckish now. We're on the mice and things. This one called Mary, just having the roof replaced at the moment. She's actually an old lifeboat from Winterton number 2 lifeboat when it was new. That was 116 years ago. Mary's the oldest boat in the harbour. The holes on the side originally would have been for the oars that rolled that out to sea. About 5.5 tons. We had a mast and sail and 14 oarsmen lying that out in the gale of wind. But then when it came out of service, it made derelict in the field for like 35, 40 years. And the new owner took it on about 15 years ago. Renovated it, refilled it and stuff as being cruise shed on it. So they use that now as a houseboat. It's very nice inside. And they started a little bit of a trend of a smaller version there. It's quite a cheap way of making yourself a houseboat, buy an old hull and stick a shed on it.
So you say it's a free harbour, do they have to pay there? Got to know. Might get one myself actually. Say again? Sounds good to me.
Cold in the winter.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can see an opposite part of the walk there where we got on, it's just underwater now, that jetty behind us there. So we've gained about 4 or 5 feet of water in an hour. It's going to come in about the same again. So it's going to be just at the top of the bank tonight. Average sort of size tides. Okay, was that alright for everyone? There sorry weren't too many there, but at least we saw some. They look much alike though, I just see. But now there's hopefully going to get a few more commons come in there very soon. It could be a good season for them. Anyway, enjoy the rest of your stay. We'll be here for a few more days. The weather looks pretty sort of set, so you should be a bit lucky there. A safe journey if you're heading home, okay? Just keep your hands and arms inside, just so we get tied up. There you go for your fish and chips. Okay, there we are. So whichever's the easiest for you, the step up or step down in the middle there. Thank you again very much.
That was great, mate. Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you very much.